Food allergies have been a concern for parents for years, but a new study shows that cases of peanut allergies have actually been plummeting over the last decade.
That's right. To talk a little bit more about this fascinating trend is 9 News health expert Dr. Pyle Coley. Dr. Coley, good morning.
Good morning. Such exciting news.
I know, this is great. Well, I remember when we were talking about this in the early stages. Let's go back to the beginning for people who may have missed this. What exactly causes food allergies?
So it's our immune system overreacting to something innocuous. So you see milk, you see a peanut, you see an egg, and you think that it's something really awful. So it doesn't just react, it overreacts. It actually causes all our blood vessels to get leaky. So that's what causes those hives in the skin, causes our throat to swell up, causes our face to swell up, and it can be life-threatening if it leads to anaphylaxis because all our organs essentially become leaky. So the water starts leaking out of all the blood vessels and fills up the organs and prevents them from doing their job.
What's the deal with food allergies? I mean, like when we grew up, there was never a conversation in school. You can't bring a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, right? Like, I feel like there's so many allergies these days, specifically peanut allergies.
Well, we have created this, Corey. That's what we think. That's what this new study tells us. Because essentially what used to happen in the 90s, early 2000s is we started telling parents, don't give your kids peanuts, don't give them milk, don't give them eggs until about age 2 or 3, because the immune system is vulnerable. And you don't want to expose it to things because it's vulnerable and it might overreact. That's what seems to have created the allergies, because that's when the immune system is the most plastic. That's when it's learning. So it's almost like the immune system didn't train on what was good and what was bad until it got too late, and then it started overreacting. So now, in 2015, this study came out called the LEAP study, which said that if you actually give kids within the first year of life exposure to these food antigens and other antigens, you're going to reduce their risk of having peanut allergy by about 80%.
Whoa.
It's amazing. Amazing.
That's big, yeah. So what kind of shifted now in the guidelines because of this?
So that study came out in 2015. We saw a drop of about 27%. Then in 2017, they started updating the guidelines and made it more extensive. We saw a drop of 40%. Now remember, the original study said 80% reduction, but that's because all the parents and all the pediatricians haven't come on board yet. So what we're now hoping is that this new study really raises awareness that we need to get on board with this, because a lot of parents are scared and they say, oh, I'm not sure it's the right thing to do to give my child this. And actually, it's funny, my niece, she has a ton of food allergies, but her nanny used to always put some peanut butter on her lips when she was about 4 to 6 months old, which is that window when you should be introducing it. That's the only thing she's not allergic to.
Oh, interesting.
And she's allergic to all the other nuts. She's allergic to all kinds of things, but
peanuts, she's good with that.
I'll tell you, when it was time for my son to start trying, more things, we drove to the emergency room and sat outside in the parking lot, had him try it just a little bit on his lips, and then we waited about 15 minutes. We're like, all right, we're good to go.
I've heard of a lot of people doing that.
Okay, so
because you're right there.
Really not a bad idea. So for healthy infants, you can probably get away 4 to 6 months without doing that. But if you have a high risk of allergies in your family, you have asthma, you have eczema, you have anything that makes you nervous as a parent, doing it under medical supervision. And that we say, breast is best, which is great. But the problem is if you breastfeed exclusively and don't introduce those antigens around 4 to 6 months, then their immune system doesn't get that tolerance or that exposure.
We're about out of time, but I want to ask this last question, because even as adults, I'm hearing more about gut problems, specifically with bacteria. How does gut bacteria play into all of this?
Yeah, so it's not just what we eat, it's even how it populates the bacteria in our gut. And the idea here is that our immune system was designed to be exposed to dirt and to be exposed to pets and to be exposed to the wild. So kids that grow up with pets have less allergies. Kids that play in the dirt in the first year of life have less allergies. Kids that have siblings who make them sick but they don't use as many antibiotics have less allergies because it changes their gut tolerance. So our gut is a type of our immune system as well, what types of things we're exposed to. So the bacteria of kids that have allergies in the gut looks different from the ones that don't, and that's what we're learning.
Have they studied at all, like in utero? Like for instance, I love peanut butter. I had peanut butter throughout both of my pregnancies. Neither of my kids have any type of allergy like that. But what if like a parent doesn't really like peanut butter and never really had it? Does that at all affect whether or not they could have an allergy?
Vertical immunity type of
right.
thing.
Oh, interesting. So the immune system doesn't really start evolving until you're exposed to the external environment. Because up until in utero, it's mom's immune system that's doing everything for you. So we don't think that in utero exposure of antigens affects it. But as soon as they're born, that immune system starts to learn training for your immune system. So 4 to 6 months is that window. Start thinking about systematically introducing milk, eggs, nuts, and you want to do it multiple times a week in small doses so you're not overwhelming the child's immune system.
I like where your head's at, though. I'm going to use that excuse. I don't need to worry about it. But.
I've thought so much about this only because my kids, every time we start
Yeah.
a new class, we have to ask this question, and it seems like there's always some type of allergies
It's
these
hard.
days.
It's hard.
Well,
playing
I'm just
on all that.
hoping this changes the trend and people start being courageous
Absolutely.
about those antigens. So.
Dr. Coley, thank you. Really interesting topic.